Welcome back to Tales by Tamara Kids. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our magical bedtime adventures. Now, snuggle in, get cozy, and let's begin tonight's story, Rapunzel. Once upon a time, there lived a kind man and a gentle woman who had everything they could wish for, except a child. Their little house stood next to a magnificent garden filled with bright flowers and fresh vegetables. The garden was surrounded by high stone walls, and it belonged to a powerful sorceress who allowed no one to enter. Every morning, the woman would gaze through the window at the green leaves, the colorful blossoms, and the rows of vegetables. The sight filled her heart with longing. One day, she noticed a patch of fresh green rampion growing near the wall. Its leaves glistened in the sunlight and looked so crisp and delicious that she could think of nothing else. "If only I could taste it," she whispered to her husband. "I would be so happy." Her husband saw how pale she had become, so one evening, when the moon was shining, he climbed over the wall into the forbidden garden. The air smelled sweet and cool, and the earth was soft under his feet. He quickly gathered a handful of rampion leaves and hurried home. The woman ate him eagerly and felt much better, but the very next day, she longed for them again, even more than before. Her husband climbed the wall again, but this time, the sorceress was waiting. "How dare you steal from my garden?" she cried, her voice as sharp as the wind. He fell to his knees and begged for forgiveness, explaining that his wife longed for the rampion. The sorceress's eyes softened slightly. "You may take as much rampion as you wish," she said, "but in return, you must give me the child your wife is about to have." Shaking with fear, the man agreed. When the baby was born, the sorceress appeared. She named the little girl Rapunzel and carried her away. Rapunzel grew into the most beautiful child under the sun. Her hair was long, shining, and golden like spun silk. But when Rapunzel turned 12, the sorceress shut her away in a tall, lonely tower deep in the forest. The tower had no stairs and no door, only a single window high at the very top. Whenever the sorceress wanted to visit, she stood below and called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And Rapunzel would let her long golden hair fall out of the window like a shining ribbon. The sorceress would climb up and disappear into the tower. Years passed, and Rapunzel grew into a kind, gentle young woman. To pass the time, she sang sweet songs, filling the forest with her beautiful voice. Birds would perch on nearby branches just to listen. One day, a prince was riding through the forest. The air was quiet except for the sound of Rapunzel's singing. The music floated like silver threads through the trees. Who was singing with such a voice? The prince wondered. He followed the song until he reached the clearing with the tall tower. He walked around it, searching for a door, but there was none. Saddened, he returned home, but the memory of the voice stayed in his heart. Day after day, he came back just to hear her sing. One afternoon, he hid behind a tree and saw the sorceress arrive. He heard her call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Golden hair tumbled down, and the sorceress climbed to the top. The prince waited until she had gone, then tried calling himself, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The shining braid fell, and the prince climbed up. Rapunzel was startled to see a stranger, but the prince spoke gently. "Do not be afraid," he said. "I have listened to your singing day after day, and it has filled my heart with love." Rapunzel's fear melted away, and soon she began to love him too. They made a plan to escape. Each evening, the prince brought a skein of silk, and Rapunzel began to weave it into a ladder. But one day, she spoke without thinking and said to the sorceress, "Mother Gothel, why are you so heavy to pull up?" The prince climbed so easily. At once, the sorceress knew the truth. Her face grew dark with anger. She cut off Rapunzel's golden hair and sent her far away to a lonely desert. That evening, when the prince came and called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," the sorceress let the cut hair fall. The prince climbed up, but instead of Rapunzel, he found the sorceress waiting. "You will never see Rapunzel again," she cried. Heartbroken, the prince leapt from the tower. He fell into a patch of thorns that blinded him. For many months, he wandered through the forests and fields, finding his way by touch and sound. His heart ached for Rapunzel, but he never stopped searching. At last, he reached a quiet desert. There, sitting by a small spring, was Rapunzel, singing softly to her little twins, a boy and a girl. When she saw the prince, she ran to him, and her tears of joy fell into his eyes. At once, his sight was restored. Overjoyed, he took Rapunzel and the children back to his kingdom, where they were welcomed with great celebration. From that day on, they lived together in happiness and peace, and Rapunzel's golden hair grew long once more, shining in the sun like a ribbon of light. And that was the story of Rapunzel. Cherry Blossom, we hope you enjoyed this magical bedtime adventure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Tales by Tamara Kids for more bedtime stories every week. Sweet dreams!